Oh, hello! Welcome back to my channel and to another vlog. I just spent the past week in Florida with one of my best friends and it was such a good time and I thought I would bring you along. We went on a pirate ship, we saw In This Moment, it was incredible. So without further ado, let's dive into my vlog. We begin on our journey by going to the airport. Here was my outfit, very comfy, jeans and a t-shirt, and I couldn't fit my pirate hat in my luggage so I just wore it. I definitely got a lot of odd looks because of that. And I got a direct flight, which is my favorite kind. I love flying, and we had some delicious turbulence on the way to Florida. I was surprised by how short the flight was. It felt like I had just started going over my lines for Dracula, and then we were already landing. And my first day there was very chill, just spending time with my friend Sabri, food shopping, getting settled. And the next day was our pirate adventure. She knows how much I love Pirates of the Caribbean, so she planned a day trip to St. Augustine, as well as a pirate ship excursion, and I was very excited. And I brought a whole pirate outfit just for the occasion. We stopped to get some lunch first, decked out in our full pirate gear, and then we headed out on our first road trip. We have very similar musical tastes, so we were rocking out in the car on the way there, having a good time. And one of my favorite things about Sabri is that she's just as silly and goofy as I am, so the amount of weird faces that we made on this trip is unparalleled. I put my lipstick on in the car, and I've really been loving this NYX Lip Lingerie in the black shade. It stays really well. And here's my makeup. I doused myself in setting spray to try to make sure my face would not melt off. And here is my pirate outfit. I made my hat myself, and there's a DIY video on my channel if you'd like to see how. I borrowed the amazing boots from Sabri. They're from House of Widow. Her hat was absolutely amazing. She made hers as well. And then we arrived at the pirate ship. This was called the Black Raven, and we got to go on a treasure hunt. The smaller ship next to it was also part of the show. It was the Queen Anne's Revenge, which is Blackbeard's ship, and I love that they had the actual Jolly Roger used by Blackbeard flying. Once on board, we got our seats in the shade. They had a large menu of alcoholic beverages to choose from, and I decided to get the Blackbeard's Mojito because I had to have a drink with rum in it, and it was delicious. Being on the water was fantastic, and they had a whole theatrical show they were putting on as we sailed out of the harbor. I love the decor of the boat as well. They had skeletons, bones, skulls, and all kinds of bits and bobs kind of scattered throughout this netting. And the crew played some games, cracked jokes, and even walked the plank, which was just one of the crew dragging a board on a rope around the deck, which was very funny. It was a bit windy out there, so my lashes were holding on for dear life. And then, once we were further out, the Queen Anne's Revenge pulled up alongside of us and boarded us, demanding our treasure. After we successfully got rid of them, the crew handed out some musical instruments, and we sang some songs, including some of my favorite sea shanties, and I danced all over the deck. The crew were very gracious, and we got this awesome picture with them, and the captain of the ship let us go all the way up to see the captain's wheel. It was so much fun. Definitely an awesome experience, and I would recommend going on this ship if you are in St. Augustine. Once back on land, I had to do the Captain Jack Sparrow run next to this gorgeous old cemetery. Then we wandered through some shops in town and got delicious crepes over at this place called Mimi's Famous Crepes. The stores there were so cool. There was a steampunk shop, a pirate shop that had this amazing white outfit that I need. Flags and corsets were everywhere. And then we took a walk over to the Castillo de San Marcos, the famous fort in St. Augustine. Unfortunately, it was closed by the time we got there, so we just admired it from the outside. After that, we happened upon the Pirate Museum on the way back to the car, and we decided to step in, and I'm so glad that we did. It was so cool to see all of this piratey stuff. We saw the original Jolly Roger. Blackbeard's head was telling us off at one point, and we got to touch a 400-year-old chest. Very sexy. But I have to say my favorite part of the entire museum was getting to see one of Johnny Depp's swords that he used in Pirates of the Caribbean, as well as one of the cursed Aztec coins. I lost my shit a little bit, not gonna lie. As you guys know, Pirates is one of my favorite film franchises of all time, and shockingly my makeup held up quite well in the heat, and then we drove back home. The next day was another road trip, this time to North Carolina to see In This Moment and Motionless in White for their Dark Horizon tour. It was a 6.5-hour drive each way, but thankfully we had some great music and conversation to help pass the time. Here's a look on the map to see just how far we went. We started off in Jacksonville, and then of course we stopped for Taco Bell. I love their quesadillas, so delicious. And the scenery as we got closer to North Carolina was absolutely stunning. However beautiful it was though, I was ready to get to our hotel and eat more food. And this was my traveling outfit. I love these bell bottoms that I've got from Romway. And then Sabri and I had coordinated our outfits for the concert, so I steamed all the wrinkles out for the next day. And then once we'd settled in and unpacked, we went out to a local brewery called Dissolver. The decor there was very cool, and they had this huge skeleton in there, which was my absolute favorite part. So we had a drink, then we went and got dinner, and went to bed to rest up for the concert the next day. We got breakfast at Waffle House, so delicious. I love their sausage bowls with hash browns. And then we got ready and waited in line at the concert. She had gotten us VIP tickets so we could actually meet Maria Brink. I was so excited. And it was really special to get to do this with her because she and I had seen In This Moment several times together in New York City, and we both love their music so much. Unfortunately, they locked up our phones, so I couldn't record getting to see Maria, but she was such a sweetheart. We all got to take a group picture with her, and I got to tell her that she inspires me with all of her amazing outfits and looks. She really does kill it in all of her music videos as well as on stage in concert, and she told us that she loved our outfits, which was so cool. We got a bag of goodies, and then we went to head into the concert. And we got early access, so we were very close. And we made some friends in the audience as we waited, and rocked out to some of the music that was playing. The first band was From Ashes to New. I'd never heard of them before, but they were so good. I loved their set, and I was not expecting there to be a circle pit so early in the show, but there was a pretty big one going on behind us. And then I didn't really get to enjoy the second opener, which was called Fit for a King, because there were just so many people crowd surfing and moshing around us. Sabri and some of the other men and women around us had to hold the wall so we didn't get crushed. It was so cute. There was someone who had a whore hat next to me, and she handed it to me and said, "If you protect my hat, I will protect you," which she did, which was very sweet. So thank you, friend. But it was intense. I've been in a few mosh pits in the past at shows, but this one was the craziest I've ever seen. And then as if that weren't enough, we had a wall of death open up right next to us. So the second set passed in a blur. And then the next set was Motionless in White, who I absolutely love. They played so many of my favorite songs, and Chris Motionless sounded awesome. And they had some really cool smoke and fire effects coming out on the stage, which made it even better. And then at one point, Chris asked the whole crowd to put their phone flashlights on, and it lit up the whole venue, which was super cool to be a part of. Throughout the night, there were just so many crowd surfers. It felt like every few minutes people were passing on overhead, and some people got dropped, which was crazy. Then the moment we had all been waiting for, In This Moment, took the stage. Maria is so awesome to see live. If you haven't seen her, I highly recommend it. Her staging and all of the outfits were so good. The set list, while it was very good, was very short, which I was very sad about, but it was so much fun to sing along. And the only bad thing about this particular part of the show was that there were quite a few tall people around me who were filming almost the entire time, so it did get a little hard to see. And I completely understand wanting to film the concert, but this was like next level. I was trying to keep my phone close to my face so I wouldn't block anyone else's view, but nobody else seemed to care about doing that, which kind of sucked. She ended the show with horror and sent out all of these red and white balloons with pentacles drawn on them, and ended with a blast of confetti. It was such an awesome show. And then the next morning, we had Waffle House again, delicious, and headed back to Jacksonville on another 6.5-hour drive. The trip home kind of flew by though, probably because we spent most of it listening to Ghost. She and I love Ghost, so it was so much fun singing and just having fun and being silly. And this was my travel outfit. And we stopped in a gas station, and I'd never seen these before. I think they're called Bucks Balls. I definitely want to try them next time I'm in Florida. And they had so many snacks at this gas station. And I was actually quite shocked to see that there were just gator heads everywhere. That is not something we have up north. Apparently it's a southern thing. And then I take my sun protection very seriously, so I covered up my entire face with the hood of my jacket at one point, which resulted in this beautiful look. And then once we got back that night, because we are insane, we went out to the local goth night. I had never been to an official goth night before, since they don't really exist where I live, and it was so much fun. Oh, I wish we had this where I live. The music was great, the atmosphere was super fun, everyone seemed super nice, and of course I went all out with my outfit and makeup. I was super happy with how my cobweb eyeliner came out, and dancing is just one of my favorite things to do ever, so I had a lot of fun on the dance floor, and Sabri captured more of my more serious dancing, but not featured here was me being very silly and goofy on the dance floor. I created a new dance move I'd like to call the bat flap, which is exactly how it sounds. But dancing was such a great way to end the trip, and I definitely want to come back the next time I'm in Florida. The next morning, I had to catch a very early flight at 6 a.m., which means I had to be at the airport at 4, because I needed to get back to New York for Dracula rehearsal later that same day. And as a result, I got to watch the sunrise during my flight, which was something I had never seen before. Very cool. And that is it for my Florida vlog with one of my besties. Hope you enjoyed coming along with us. I had such a good time on this trip. I hadn't seen her for 2 or 3 years, so it was really great to just catch up with her and reconnect and do all these fun things. But I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!